And here's a look at your top political headlines of the past week. Lubbock police and firefighters are standing together in strong support of our Lubbock road bond. They argue that some of these dirt roads and congested two-lane streets that you see there in our city are slowing their response times to emergencies, straining their equipment and resources, and lagging behind the infrastructure needs of our growing city. Both the fire and the police unions have endorsed the $200 million bond, which will improve 22 miles of roads all around the city and is on your ballot right now. And some Texas Republicans in tight re-election races have opened the door to the possible exceptions in our abortion ban that they passed last session. At least 4 Republicans running for seats in the state house from Bexar to Collin County have signaled their support adding exceptions for rape and incest into that law, which Texas's current law does not include. The Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan and the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick have also discussed the possibility, but Governor Greg Abbott has so far declined to state his position. Also this week in Austin, the head of the Texas Department of Public Safety found himself in the hot seat at the state capitol this week. He got questioned over the response to the deadly Uvalde school shooting, and our Monica Madden was there on Thursday, where the victims' families asked for an update into the investigation and called for the resignation of the DPS director. Here's her report.
Well, the newest information we learned from Director Stephen McCraw today is that the Texas Rangers investigation into the Robb Elementary shooting will be complete by the end of the year. But for these families who've been waiting for so long, since May 24th, that's just not soon enough for accountability and answers. Now, these families drove hours to be here today and were hoping to get some new information. But other than that, there were not a lot of updates on the investigation. Today really was a chance for them to be eye to eye with the man whose resignation they're calling for. That's Director McCraw. And during the meeting today, it was extremely tense. You had very emotional stories from these families talking about their nieces, their nephews, their children who died that day. And they want to see some accountability for the law enforcement officers who waited more than an hour to go in and save them. Now, McCraw today said again that he would resign if DPS is found culpable as an institution for response that day. While he did acknowledge some individuals' mishaps and missteps that day, he did not say the institution as a whole failed. And for these families, again, they repeated their calls for his resignation and say that DPS did clearly fail and they want him to step down now.
Your officers were in there within 10 minutes, correct?
Yeah.
Are they not representatives of your department?
Absolutely.
Therefore, they failed?
Absolutely.
Therefore, DPS failed? Therefore, there was culpability? Therefore, if you were a man of your word,
Yeah.
then you would retire?
Yeah.
Jacqueline was 10 years old. She was 10 years old, and she passed away at 1:15. Can you tell me when this event started? 11:33. She would have been given an opportunity to live if all of the law enforcement, and most importantly, had the courage to confront the shooter.
Now, as the families acknowledge that a lot of the information they've received about officers' response that day has been brought to light from media leaks, McCraw again deflected, saying that the district attorney in Uvalde has instructed him to not release any information from that day. In Austin, Monica Madden, back to you.
Monica, thank you for that report. We'll continue to follow that.